So we've agreed during the break, this is a conversation that cannot end now. So we will have to take a break shortly, but we'll be having this discussion, the CBC debate, more frequently right here on Citizen TV. But we got lots of questions before the break that I want to give each of our panelists a chance to weigh in on as they give their final comments. And I think, Boaz, we should start with you as well. You had really wanted to jump in as they were speaking.
Thank you.
Go ahead now.
Thank you. The questions are many, and I choose to respond to the person who asked about the preparedness of the teachers and the parents. And true to that, I think that was a teacher calling, saying, the parents are asking me, I don't know what to tell them. So,
we are in the same position.
And the CBC expects the parent actually to play a very significant role, including assistance in some homeworks and all that. What is the illiteracy level of the adult in Kenya? It is mind-boggling. It is over 50%, if you may wish to go there. So you are expecting a system that relies on these parents who are ill-prepared, on the teachers who are just asking for involvement to know what exactly this animal is, and teachers who at some point, you remember the CS Honorable Amina indicating that after having looked at the materials that she encountered, it was, in her opinion, and based on the team that was there supporting her, that we were not really ready, that she wanted just a little bit more time for further consultations. If that time was allowed, we would not be here now discussing whether we actually require 6 years, or we require this many years, or where should be the lower secondary school program be domiciled. All that, what are actually the specifics that we require. And indeed, a number of people, because we've had also some of the comments that were coming there, you've seen on average, the majority do not understand, and we're assuring them that we cannot prescribe poison to them. Are you sure that our children are in those systems? Most of those people have children in the other US and British systems. The system we are discussing about is a system that is affecting over 90% of the population, the very poor, the downtrodden, and all that. It is possible that we are actually giving them poison, because eventually we are telling them that, oh, we are going to cure transition, we are going to cure. And what happens when eventually we start ending up with all those mass dropouts, people who are exiting, they say, the primary cycle, they've gone to the secondary cycle, and the skills that are required are not there. I think some of these are the issues that are properly structured and meaningful, genuine, not this ticker box. Oh, we did not do this, can we do it very quickly? Oh, we did not have a commission to inform us, can we form a quick task force? Oh, we did not. It is not reactive. We have a government that has our taxes, that should be planning. In those ministries, they have planning, policy and planning directors. What is their business? How do they advise their political heads? So for me, I think being sober, it is not here, the purpose is not coming here to say we throw this or we accept this. The purpose is to be here and ask, are we doing the right thing? We got it wrong in 1984 when we were transitioning into 844. We are getting it even worse now.
That's your concern? That
we are most likely going to have more problems. And the problems are already mushrooming. When you're telling the teachers, please, can you do examination? Oh, it is not examination. Can you assess grade 3? And we'll give you the tools, and even those tools which are given, application, the teachers themselves do not know how they can be done. So I think let the ministry not act like an emergency, you know, those special ministries that used to be set up for emergencies. This is the education ministry. Education ministry that should help us in proper planning and looking into the future.
I'll take that as your final comment. Thank you so much. Honorable Sosion, before you come in, Janet, go ahead, then I'll come to you, Honorable Sosion.
All right, I really want to appreciate the viewers, because that was really good feedback. And I want to say, yes, challenges are there, but the good thing is that the ministry is open to asking where are the challenges and what can we do about the challenges. Yes, I'm speaking like this because I sit in a task force. I like taking responsibility.
It's okay. I just wanted to
because it's important. What we're saying is that there is always a positive side to everything. and I really do not believe in causing alarm in terms of just dropping statements and saying this is wrong. I wish we really had tangible proposals, and those are the opportunities that are open out there.
What's your response to that teacher who says she's as confused as the parent? Where is the ministry in her situation? I really,
there's a question I answered here, and I said that sometimes the ministry, I've had the assurances of the CS and also the Dr. Juan talking about continuous, upgrading of the teachers, because really it is not like teachers are likely to be taken to fresh training. Those are activities that will be ongoing, and I really wish that including the teachers and everybody else, all of us engage, positively. You do not have expertise to do this, but there are structures even at the county for where you could ask and get support.
So and what did
I want to say? I wanted to say that it is correct that about 90% of all learners, including those who are in private schools, are going to go through CBC. So let nobody think that maybe that some children are in private schools and therefore a particular cross-section of parents are probably involved in this debate and maybe their children are somewhere else. I want to really say that it is a process which I would vote for and just say, can we work together in solving the challenges? The challenges are abound, and you are an expert. Please come on board with the solutions. Give your views with the solutions. Otherwise, it will not take us so far when we keep saying that this did not happen. Even when it happens, you don't care to acknowledge that it happened, and therefore the challenge that you are mentioning has already been surpassed. So that sort of encouraging positivity in the process.
Fair enough. Honorable
Yes, from the comments of the viewers, which we must treat them with the seriousness it deserves, I wish to say the following. Number one, we cannot replace an education system that we have with a weaker one. So really we must be convinced that CBC is a strong education system. It is working, it is simple, it's understood by everyone, it is easy to implement. Right now the ministry cannot demonstrate that. And that's the elephant in the house. Number two, teacher preparedness. The pedagogy of CBC is different from pedagogy of outcome-based curriculum. And the training of our teachers who are in class are really on the pedagogy of outcome-based curriculum. And right now, the beginning of CBC should be at the teacher training colleges and at the universities. We should see the universities doing more research and preparing teachers so that eventually the rollout of the CBC should coincide with the graduation of teachers who have been trained on this. That is how countries that have rolled out really have done. But so far, right now, the design for teacher training colleges is not there, but the universities, there are no activities. So the human resource is key. Have we prepared the human resource? Why are we cheating the public that we are training teachers? A 2 weeks meeting is not a training. And in fact, the trainers who are training teachers from our studies and the different studies have indicated that even them, the trainers, do not understand and interpret the design. So we can imagine what is happening in the classroom. We interact with teachers, and teachers are saying there is nothing going on in the classrooms. Number three, the infrastructure. The class sizes ought to be very small, with more teachers likely in the classroom. That is an ideal CBC delivery with different furniture. Nothing has changed. We've seen clips, and you, media, have done it. A class of 105 learners with one teacher and probably 4 textbooks, or 10 or 15. So really, in terms of infrastructure, there must be an overhaul. And the external evaluation study by Professor Laban Ayiro indicated that for successful rollout, if we must roll out what actually CBC is, we need 365D to overhaul everything else. And then that comes to the question of the economics of CBC. Is the country ready to absorb? Even all the activities that are ongoing now, they are not funded by the exchequer. It's reliance on donors. It's reliance on donors. And I think we are cheating too much. We need to sit, look at the economics of a true CBC, finally,
yes,
a curriculum review and reform in any country invites the experts in curriculum development and universities to do research as the beginning point.
Fair enough.
Let's look at it in this country, where the experts in in curriculum review and what is the place of universities, they have been excluded. Experts have been excluded. And that is why when we're here, when you say Janet Muthoni is an expert and can speak on behalf of the ministry, I'm really a worried man. We've looked at professors. And I think this is a tragedy that we have in this country. We have the wrong people in the name of the experts driving the process and cheating the public, and we've locked out the universities. We've locked out the curriculum.
Now you're
experts. And then finally, the role of teachers in the review process. Teachers have been locked out. They've been shut down. And remember when we raised our voices, teachers were chased around and locked up in the cells, and there has been, in fact, this CBC, we are questioning it seriously. A lot of
thank you so much.
It is being imposed, and we don't think the country is ready. We need to get back to ground zero and start all over again.
Thank you, Amos.
The question is, are we in a crisis or are we planning for a crisis? The answer is yes.
Yes to A or B? You've asked all
yes to it's a crisis.
We are in a crisis.
We are in a crisis in education because the functionality of our education in this country ends in grade 3. That is how serious it is. If you do the economics of the marginal benefit that come out of our education, after spending the first $300 in education, which is spent in grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3, anything else beyond that, it is wasted. Because you only have close to 30% of the children in this grade 3 who have mastered what they need to do. And therefore, it means that you are carrying through all these inefficiencies. And that is the reason why the public has panicked and asked, must we remain the same way? What should a responsible government do? A responsible government must bring everyone to board. All of us agree the process has shortcomings, but indeed we have a crisis to deal with. On whether CBC is weaker than 844, I think that is a conversation we can continue having, because I think it's neither here nor there. When people talk about...
Is it the silver bullet, though, to sort the crisis that you've...
I don't think that it is the silver bullet, because the challenges facing education go beyond just the curriculum. It is a systemic issue. It's an economic issue. I'll give you an example. For instance, we say that CBC can deal with the issue of values. But there's no single school where you go to in this country and you are taught that you should give a bribe. But why do you come out and give a bribe? Because it is more convenient at that particular time. Therefore, it is not necessarily a problem of education, but it's larger a problem that we have. Therefore, as stakeholders, even as we are seated over here, I think we must be very, very honest with ourselves, because the reality of the matter is that based on how we've begun interacting with the process, we've already taken positions. That is a fact. It is not hidden. We've already taken position, and therefore it looks like it's a confrontation between them and us, which should yes, pro CBC and the against CBC. And that's why when you are asked, you're told that. That's when you talk against. Let me just finish. When you talk against it, you are told that you are supporting Sosion. When you talk for it, you are told you are a government. You are a government spokesperson, which is a bit unfair. Yes, which is a bit unfair. What we should be doing as a country is to encourage this kind of conversation. And that is why what is happening at the All Africa, at the Desmond Tutu, must be encouraged. What is happening next week on Friday, it must be encouraged. And the effort even to have a task force, I think we should just know one thing, that this change that we are talking about, it is not putting a litmus paper in an alkaline for it to turn to be blue. The way this change is going to happen, you're not going to radically see that the way you've switched off Citizen and say, now breakfast show is coming to an end. It is not going to happen that way. I think we must be prepared to lessen a little bit of our strong viewpoints and positions and negotiate. We must know that we are planning an education, not for our children. We are planning an education for our grandchildren. And that's why I agree with Boaz, but equally dispute. The 52% that we are talking about who are illiterate are our generation. What kind of future parents are you talking about? What education will fit their children? So we cannot just keep on planning for today, forgetting that we should be planning for an education that adheres to scale and an education that adheres to sustainability. 440 billion being pumped in education every year. For us to harvest 35,000 is This is a national crisis.
Trevor,
You actually put me to task last year when I said that this is a crime against humanity, and you told me to justify it. I am still justifying. 440 billion cannot be justified to give us the kind of results that we have. Whether it is CBC or anything else, we must negotiate.
We cannot be business as usual. This time with the parents. Boys, I'm so sorry. We have to leave it at that particular point. Wilson Sosion, Nat Secretary, Amos Kaburu, Education Consultant, and Janet Mudoni, Education
Consultant. Who's a governance reform, he told us education and advocacy expert.
Exactly. Thank you so much for coming in this morning. We'll definitely have this conversation. This time bring the parents and then you will address their concerns directly. All right? And the teachers as well. But we have a lot of feedback coming through. Let's read some of them as we wind up this show. First up, Mato Sparta says, unfortunately, most parents are against CBC. Most of the parents are alleging that they have a busy schedule. Government should appreciate that they're dealing with Generation X parents.
Felix Kiptore, CBC is overrated and the timing is wrong. We're not ready as a country. This system favors only those from a wealthy background.
And so Sion retweets that, and we have Kuyambura who says CBC should have proper plan, especially on the side of the teacher. Resources are not enough since only 1 or 2 teachers are trained per school. Government should stop pretending. The pretext.
Oguta Onyango, those rolling out the CBC are sugarcoating a rotten cream. Wow. Not dealing with critical foundational issues upon which equality in and progressive academic pursuits are predicated is the weakest link. Now look at this failed ideology, parental involvement. Can all parents read?
All right.
Okay. SMS 22422.
22422 is the SMS line. Retired HT from Bungoma, he says the original 844 was so good. Most self-employed people went through it. It was all about skill. So CBC should have been based on that.
Okay. We have a few more. Beatrice Dogo from Mombasa. The teachers are inadequately prepared. Those who are trained to handle grade 4 in April were yet to understand what it's all about. Just to be told they will not be trained in August, and it should be a new group attending the training. The truth of the matter is that teachers might not deliver, not because they're incompetent, but because they are simply ill-prepared.
All right, let's see another one here.
This the last one?
From Moyale says 844 was geared towards more practical and technical-oriented curriculum that would facilitate itself self-employment, and hence schools offered school trades as computer learning, carpentry, sculpturing, tailoring, masonry, music, etc. But it failed because the government couldn't afford the teachers and equipment. Imagine CBC is even more expensive and demanding.
Okay. Let's take that break. I'm afraid to give our guests a chance to respond because we'll be here for a long time. Since you're only shouting, yeah, that's the truth. Listen to the public. Okay, thank you, gentlemen and lady, for coming here. We will have this discussion again, but we'll be right back. Workout Wednesday.
Workout Wednesday with Willis Raburu coming up.